Welcome to Journey Unto You. My name is Lorraine, and I am your host. I am so very privileged to be here with you. And on this platform, we will explore all things autism and other subjects and needs within the community. I will share my own personal journey and how it all got started. I will share things that make us feel weird, might even sound a little awkward, and even ugly, but I hope to share as many victories as possible. I do hope to encourage you, strengthen, maybe even put a smile on your face, and even get some questions answered. This platform is for anyone who has had autism on their path. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and just listen in. There is always hope. So back in April, I got the amazing opportunity to go to Special Olympics here within the school district. And I didn't know what to expect. And I was apprehensive about it, even though I knew that for some of our folks in this community, it's a wonderful opportunity. I had my reservations for my own personal client that I worked with and what the day would hold for all of these children that were attending this event. And let me tell you, it was so amazing to watch. I was very blessed by it. Now, the Special Olympics has been something that has been around since 1968. It was originally started with the Kennedy Foundation and developed by a special education teacher. And so it's been around for, I would say, over 55 years. And it didn't always involve the school districts. That is something that is more of a newer concept when the advocating for all inclusion in athletics started. And so this was one of the ways that they began to do this. I think I have shared my feelings on inclusion. Now, it's just my own personal opinion as a parent. I think it's for some children and other children, it is not such a great idea. Some children thrive in slowly being integrated to inclusion type programs. And in that case, I'm an advocate for those children that love sports and they're actually interested in it. My apprehension in this situation was that I had not been exposed to the school district having a part of the special needs community in this way with the Special Olympics. I've always known it to be an outside event and more family promoted. So my apprehension was that children were being brought to this event. I mean, there was a lot of children involved in this. And so, which isn't a bad thing. It's a very positive event. My concern was children being brought to this event that really didn't know why they were there, had zero interest. It's hot outside. I live here in North Carolina, so it gets relatively warm. And it was a warm day. And I was also concerned about the low participation from parents with this event. So I didn't know what to expect. And a lot of our kiddos, when they're that young especially, and even as adults, my son is still the same way, disrupting routine, no matter how fun an event may seem, is very stressful for them, even if they enjoy it. So with the particular client that I'm working with this year in the school district, that is the case for him. He struggles with things that are out of routine, that are too noisy, that just, it's just a bunch of commotion. And to him, it's just, there's going to be a meltdown. But that isn't the case for all of our special needs folks. A lot of our community are very social and they love to get out and be around people. And I did see that and it was amazing. So the group that I went with was the elementary arena. So I didn't see the middle schoolers and I didn't see the high schoolers this year. And I do hope next year to be involved on some level with Special Olympics within the district as a volunteer. So hopefully maybe I'll get to do the high schoolers next year. But I got to see these kiddos do sprinting, do, I guess, what you would say, a version of bocce. That was cute. And they did have medals where they placed with gold and silver and bronze. And that was fun for them, even though some of them had no clue why they were there, what they were doing, how they were participating. And so those things for me, I have always felt very strongly about, because I think a lot of times we as adults do things to make ourselves feel comfortable, making ourselves feel like we're doing something special for these kiddos when honestly they could give a flying rip. But there's something about us that feels like we've done our job or we're doing the right thing if we have them participate in these activities. And you know, as a parent and a caregiver, I just want to set you free on that right now. You don't have to do it. I really do feel very strongly about that. It's just something that we think our kiddos are being left out or they should have all these same opportunities. And you know what? They should, but a lot of them they don't want the opportunity or they don't know that they're even having an opportunity. And sometimes, just like our atypical developing children, we want to give them opportunities because we know that if they try it, they will like it. And so you really, like all parents, we have to know our kiddos, but the special needs community is different in that the window for error is a lot less. And especially with autism. And so things like this, I tend to get a little squirrely with and really want to make sure that as a caregiver and as a parent that you are advocating for what your child really wants to do. And I try to be as progressive as possible with my own son. And, you know, I had presented to him attending Special Olympics a few years back and he was not interested. It just looked like he told me he just was going to be too tired. And this year he actually got to participate. I wasn't given a heads up on the situation, unfortunately, not enough in time. So next year, I kind of gave him a piece of my mind. I said, Mama needs to be there. I need to see things like this because I had no idea that my son wanted to participate in this. And he's a grown man now, so of course he can make these decisions without mom, but that's so exciting to me. He competed in in swimming. That was the sport that he did this year. And that just thrilled me that he decided that he could give that a try. And he did just fine. And there was lots of people there and he lives in another state than I do. And so next year we will definitely make this a big deal because we need to celebrate these victories when our children or loved ones decide they want to do something different. And so I have to tell you that working with the special needs community is so very rewarding to my spirit. Even when it's really hard and there are days when you're not happy about what's going on because of outside factors. It may be because, you know, you're working with other people that aren't as gracious and merciful as they can be, or maybe you're child that you're working with that day, or your client. Maybe you work with a person that has in-home providing, or you have a loved one that's a family member that every time you see them, they're having meltdowns, that even on those days, just remembering where they're at and just remembering that they do struggle to tell us what they need and struggle to explain it in a functional manner. And so that was my concern with the Special Olympics. There were so many children there who couldn't tell you, I really don't want to be here. This is a lot for me. It's noisy. It's hot. I want my mom. And so not only that, I'm also one of those thinkers that thinks, well, so this is district money. There's all these school buses that are busing these children in. It's this whole thing. But no one really asked, is this something that is beneficial? And if it is beneficial, that's great. But are we as a school district, is this our responsibility? Or is it something that is really a family-centered thing? So I'm sure there's a whole lot of opinions on that. And I had mixed feelings on, I don't have necessarily an opinion one way or the other, but I did have mixed feelings as a provider and as a parent on how I felt about that day's events, just within the cost of budgets and with so many budgets being cut in the school districts. And was this something that, we needed to actually spend money on? Because to be quite frank, for as many children that participated, maybe a handful out of those participated. It was a lot of sitting around, a lot of managing behaviors, a lot of managing as opposed to actual participating. And again, I was with the elementary group, so I did not see the middle school or the high schoolers. Now, for high schoolers and adults, it makes a whole lot more sense to me to have the budgets go out for something like that. The parents do have to sign a release form for their child to participate, but I really didn't see a lot of parent involvement, which made me sad. It would have been great to see that. But I also understand that our population of parents are very tired, and some can't take work off. There's a whole host of reasons. And so we want to, be mindful of that as well. But having something like this on the weekend or just when parents can attend would be something that I would want to bring to the table in the future if the school district's going to consider that. But then the educators don't work on the weekend. So it's just one of those things, right? What I didn't know is that the Special Olympics has over 30 plus events. And I'm just going to share some of those with you. There's alpine skiing, there's badminton, basketball, bocce, like I brought up before, bowling, competitive cheer, which I just thought that was quite interesting, cricket, cross country, skiing, cycling, dancing, equestrian, figure skating, kayaking, netball, and the high jump. And that's, of course, not an exhaustive list, but I just was so shocked to see that some of these things are there. And another fun fact that I learned was that there's also the Paralympic, which is very similar to Special Olympics. So the difference I learned is that para is Greek for come alongside or beside. And so it was given its name because it comes parallel to the Special Olympics, so right beside it. The difference that I also learned between Special Olympics and Paralympics is that Special Olympics is for the intellectually disabled and Paralympics is geared towards physically disabled population. So that was something that I didn't know about the Special Olympics, and that there was even a whole nother group of folks. Another thing that I learned about the Special Olympics is that your IQ does have to be below 70 to 75 IQ range in order to even qualify. It is free of charge to participate and to attend these events. Yes, also the one thing I love is that it promotes health and fitness for our population in this community. And I think that's wonderful. And leadership for them too, but as well as those of us who participate. And I just want to highly encourage you. If you've ever thought about working with the special needs community on any level, it doesn't have to be through Special Olympics. There's so many needs out there. Sometimes they need volunteers to go on outings or different events that come up. But the Special Olympics is such a great way to kind of see these folks in action and things that they've trained for and worked hard for, and see them take something so seriously and achieve victory within themselves. And so I just want to encourage you, if you've ever thought about working with this population of people, this is a really good way to get your feet wet. I know that if you go to the specialolympics.org and scroll to the volunteer link, there are ways to volunteer, but even doing direct volunteering at the Special Olympics next year, just to be around this population of people is so rewarding, and they are so funny. They will make you laugh and bring such a joy to you with the purity that they bring to the table and their innocence. And that is one of the things that I have always loved about our special guys. And so when I sat there in the bleachers that day at the Special Olympics and I got to observe all these events, I just thought about what a miracle so many, every single one, in fact. Let me not say so many. Let me say every single soul that has been affected by a physical disability or a intellectual disability, and how much of a miracle they really are. I have worked with some very high needs children who very much struggle to communicate how they feel. They have physical aggression, but there are those days where you just know inside of you they need to be covered. They need to be advocated for, and they need so much support. And as a caregiver and as a provider, you're not always going to be a match for certain clients and certain learners. You're not always going to be the best fit, but it doesn't mean that you haven't done your job. And I want to say that to parents as well. There are days where it's like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I need help. And you do need help. And it does feel like, are they just going to go to bed anytime soon? Or can I get respite care? And I just want to remind you and encourage you in those moments when you really, truly do feel inside like I can't go on and I can't shed one more tear. Just think about how much they really do need you, and that you are such an important vessel in their lives. Even if they don't know it, even if they don't vocalize it, they need you. And you were chosen to be their mama or their daddy or their provider or their auntie or their uncle or their teacher or their healthcare provider or their behavior technician. You're not there by accident. They are miracles. And just by being in their lives, you are making a miracle happen. So I just wanted to share my experience with getting that opportunity to be a part of the Special Olympics. It was such a privilege and a blessing. And I actually have a relative who is a sports surgeon, and he was doing his internship at the adult Special Olympics. And so I got to see footage from him doing that. And I just thought, that's so incredible. They're just giving everything they've got. And they are getting out and doing opportunities. They do get out. We may not see it as much as we would like. They may not get to do everything that we want them to do. They may not do it when we want them to do it. Other people might be barriers because maybe they don't want to take the time to be patient with our population of people that need a tremendous amount of patience. But it's so rewarding when you see them just give their best. And I just want to encourage any parent or caregiver that if you want your child to participate in the Special Olympics, go for it. Find out if you go to specialolympics.org and type in your zip code with whatever state that you are in, it will pull up all the events and what time and all the options within your state. And maybe there's something that your special person would enjoy. Or if you want to have them involved, check out your local school district. If you're a homeschooler, you still have the legal right to participate in these events as well. If your child does go to a public school and find out if their school is involved and see how you as a parent can get involved. And if that's something that you want to do, maybe you're just not sure. So find out when these events are taking place and take your child or your young person or your adult with needs to these events and let them see for themselves what it's like and see how they respond to the environment, because there's so many layers that go into this with our kiddos. We know this. And so it's not just, oh, hey, let's try swimming and, they're signed up for swim lessons, right? We really do have to take them and let them see the water. They might have to touch it. It's this whole thing. And you might have to do it again and again and again and talk about it for as much as you need to talk about it, just to get them even into the dressing room. And I am so not exaggerating. If you are a parent with special needs, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And you could have done all the preparation in the world and got them set up for a swimming class, got them into the dressing room, complete meltdown, never doing again. Absolutely not. And it's this whole scene and no way, but then the next week it might just be just fine, or it might just be a total bust and we tried, right? So that's kind of the mindset you have to have as a parent. Like, well, at least I got them in the dressing room and that's a victory. But then you do have your kiddos that are just like, yeah, I want to get in the water, and they jump in without waiting for you. And it's this whole thing. And so, I just encourage you to at least try. Just see if your kiddo wants to, and get them out there and let them explore and see if there's some things in your area that they would like to try concerning Special Olympics. And it doesn't even have to be Special Olympics, just even getting them into swimming or any type of sport is good for them that, might gear towards all inclusion. So once again, as always, thank you for letting me share. I really wanted to share my experience about the Special Olympics because it's been on my bucket list, and I am definitely going to continue to be a part of that. And I'm so excited that my son chose to do it, and it's neat. It's a neat thing to be a participant of. It's a neat thing to watch, and hopefully I put a smile on your face and encouraged someone out there to just step outside the box. Our kiddos are worth it. You're worth it. And there's always hope, as I always say, for whatever it is that you're going through today. God bless you. And I love you, and I'm praying for you.
Now I've journeyed oh so far just to get right where you are, the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. Though this cold road which I walked taught me to run to you, and you found me 'cause I was lost, but journeyed unto you. For all my battles you have fought, your word faithful and true. When it was comfort that I sought, my peace you did renew. Most of this cold road I walked, I was carried by you. Guide our talk and hearts and thoughts as we journey unto you. Jesus Christ, I thank you for all you brought me through. Help us to lead your children to journey unto you, and help us to lead all the children to journey unto you.